My name is Thomas. I'm 89 years old, and I want you to sit down for this. Not because it's complicated, but because nobody ever sat down and said this to me when I needed it, and I wish, God, I wish someone had. I'm not a famous man. I never wrote a book. I never gave a speech on some big stage. I was just a regular guy who worked hard, paid his bills, raised his kids, and thought that was enough. For a long time, I actually believed that was enough. But here I am, 89 years old, sitting in a chair that's a little too quiet, in a house that used to be loud with people. And I keep thinking about all the moments I let slip through my hands like I had an unlimited supply of them. I didn't. Nobody does. You know what scares me most about getting old? It's not the body slowing down. It's not the doctor visits or the pills on the nightstand. What scares me is how fast it went. I blinked. I genuinely blinked. And 70 years just moved through me like wind through an open door. One day I was 28, arguing with my wife about something stupid. Then I was 45, missing my kids' school play because of a work deadline. Then I was 60, telling myself I'd travel soon. Soon never came. And I don't want that for you. I really don't. Because you're sitting there thinking you have time. I can almost feel you thinking it. And that thought, that one quiet, comfortable thought, that's the most dangerous thing in your life right now. Not failure, not hardship, that thought. For 40 years, I went to work every single morning. Alarm at 6, coffee in a thermos, out the door before my kids were even awake. I told myself I was doing it for them. That's what I said. That's what I genuinely believed. But I'll tell you something I've never said out loud before. I was doing it for me, not for the money, not even for the career. I was doing it because work was easier than being present, easier than sitting at the dinner table and actually listening, easier than being the father who showed up emotionally, not just financially. Work gave me a reason to be somewhere else, and I used it for decades. My son Daniel, he's 61 now, big guy, quiet, doesn't say much, and I look at him sometimes and I see this wall he built around himself, and I know exactly where he learned that from. He learned it from watching me. That breaks something in me that I don't think ever fully heals. I remember one evening. He was maybe 9 years old. He came to the door of my home office and he just stood there. Didn't say anything. Just stood there holding this little drawing he'd made. And I said, "Not now, buddy. Daddy's busy." He nodded, walked away. I went back to my papers. I have thought about that moment more times than I can count. More than any promotion I ever got. More than any deal I ever closed. Because here's what nobody tells you about regret. It doesn't come at you loud. It doesn't arrive like a storm. It just sits there, quietly, in the corner of every ordinary Tuesday. And you can't outwork it. You can't out-earn it. It just waits. Your job will replace you in a week. Your child will remember that closed door for a lifetime. Think about that. Really think about it. I drove a very nice car when I was 47. I remember being proud of that car, genuinely proud. I'd park it somewhere and glance back at it walking away, like it meant something, like it said something about who I was. It's gone now, long gone. I couldn't even tell you what happened to it, but I'll tell you what I do remember from that same year. One Saturday morning in October, my daughter Sarah was about 15. She came downstairs early before everyone else was up, and she made us both tea. We just sat at the kitchen table together, didn't talk about anything important. The weather, a book she was reading, something funny that happened at school. Maybe 40 minutes total. I remember the light coming through the window. I remember the way she held her mug with both hands. I remember thinking she was becoming this remarkable little person and feeling this quiet, full kind of happiness that I didn't even have a word for. That moment, still with me. Every detail. The car, gone without a trace. And I wish I had understood that exchange rate back then. I wish someone had sat me down and said, "Thomas, the things you're chasing, the things you're buying and building and collecting, they have a shelf life. But a real moment with someone you love, a moment where you're actually there, fully there, that never leaves you. We spend so much of our lives arranging things, bigger house, better title, nicer stuff, and I'm not saying those things are evil. I'm saying they're empty if that's the whole story. At the end, nobody lies in bed thinking about their car. They think about faces, voices, hands they held, laughs they shared. They think about the 40 minutes on a quiet October morning. That's what's real. That's what stays. And you're building your story right now. Every single day you're choosing what goes into it. Choose carefully, please. I'm asking you. When you're young, your body is just there. You don't think about it. You don't thank it. You just use it. You push it, you exhaust it, you feed it badly, you sleep 4 hours and think you're fine. You treat it like it's a machine that runs regardless of whether you maintain it. I did that for years. I ate whatever was fast. I sat at a desk for 10 hours straight. I told myself exercise was for people who had extra time, like self-care was some kind of luxury for people with lighter schedules. What a thing to believe. Because let me tell you what happened. By the time I was 68, my knees were bad. By 72, my heart needed attention. By 75, there were mornings I couldn't get out of bed the way a normal person gets out of bed. There was this whole slow, careful process just to stand up, just to walk to the bathroom. And the cruelest part? My mind was still sharp. I still wanted to do things. I wanted to walk on the beach with my grandchildren. I wanted to get down on the floor and play with them. I wanted to travel, finally, all those places I'd saved for later. But my body had already paid the price for decades of neglect. It had kept a record, every skipped walk, every bad meal, every night of too little sleep. It kept the record quietly and patiently, and then one day it handed me the bill. You have something right now that I would genuinely trade everything I own to have back. A body that works, not perfectly maybe, but it moves. It carries you. It lets you show up for your life. Protect it, not because you're afraid of getting old, but because the things you love, the people you love, they need you present. Not just alive, present. Your health isn't just about you. It's about every moment you want to be there for. Don't wait until the bill arrives. I want to tell you about the last real conversation I had with my wife, Margaret. She passed 7 years ago. 7 years, and some days it feels like 7 minutes. We were sitting together on the back porch, evening time. She wasn't well by then, and we both knew it. And she reached over and put her hand on mine, and she said, "Tom, we had a good life." That's all she said. And I nodded, because what else do you do? But later that night, alone in the kitchen, I cried in a way I hadn't cried since I was a boy. Not because she was leaving, well, yes, because of that, but also because I kept thinking about all the evenings we could have sat on that porch and didn't. All the times I came home distracted and she deserved better. All the small, ordinary moments I sleepwalked through while she was right there. Right there. And the thing about losing someone is you don't just lose them in the future. You lose them backwards too. Every memory gets heavier. Every moment you wasted becomes something you'd give anything to have back. I'm 89 years old, and I know things now that I cannot unknow. I know that the meeting was never as important as the person waiting at home. I know that being right in an argument is worth almost nothing. I know that the words "I love you" said plainly, without occasion, without reason, just said. Those words do more than any gift you'll ever buy. I know that the phone you're holding right now is keeping you from a life that is happening without you. Not someday, right now, while you watch this. Someone in your life needs you to put it down and just be there, fully, the way you would be if you knew time was running out. Here's what I want to leave you with. You are going to be old one day. I know that feels impossible from where you're sitting, but you will be, and you will look back. Everyone does. And the question that will matter, the only question, is this: did I show up? Not did I succeed. Not did I accumulate. Not did I impress anyone. Did I show up for the people who needed me? Did I show up for the life I actually had instead of waiting for some better version of it to begin? That's all it comes down to. My name is Thomas. I'm 89 years old, and I got some of it right, and I got a lot of it wrong. But I got enough right to know that the warmth of one real human connection, one honest moment, one afternoon where you were truly present, that outweighs everything else, everything. So go, put this down. Go find your person, your kid, your parent, your friend, whoever needs you, and just be there while you still can.